I bet Eddie's kids hate him because he's always on the phone. Dad, are you going to get off that phone?
I actually do say that sometimes.
Dad, are you going to listen to me? Dad, did you just hear what I said?
Yeah. But my oldest is always on the phone anyway, so like,
Yeah.
they get off the phone. She goes, "You're always on it."
And then you say, touche.
Yeah.
Right, October Red Boxing. Getting me wires untangled. October Red Boxing back with the lovely Eddie Hearn. Thank you for being a guest again. It's always good to see you.
Good. Thank you. Welcome, October Red.
Right, Canelo, Triple G. Lovely match. I was one of them that paid for it because I was happy to do that, to donate to those pay-per-view numbers. What on earth was happening on Twitter again? Make it make sense, please.
It's a mad sport, and it's the only sport where people are so passionate about purse bids and pay-per-view numbers, and like, but at the same time, like, obviously, there's a lot of people with agendas in boxing, and a journalist got fed numbers, probably actually quicker than even DAZN got the numbers, and he had a choice to run with it or speak to us and ask the people that actually do know whether it was correct or not. He chose just to run with it, and because he wanted to be a superhero, but unfortunately there was no cape, and he was wrong, quite badly wrong. So DAZN made a comment, made a statement last night, say there was over 1 million buyers, people bought the fight. And he was like, yeah, 50%. It was, no, like more like 80%. But like, then you start thinking, what are we actually arguing about here? Do you know what I mean? And then Leonard Ellerby piped up and I had a bit of fun with him, and Espinoza and DeBella. And it is very much me against the world, and it's pretty exciting, really, at the same time. Like, it's quite stressful if you let it be stressful. And the thing is with stress is that, I was listening to a podcast today, everyone's stress resistance is different, right?
True.
And mine, weirdly, is freakishly different. Doesn't mean I don't get stressed, because I do, and I don't mean I don't get moody, because I do, but my ability to absorb stress is different, right? Maybe that will just lead to one just massive heart attack explosion one day, but genuinely...
Or an AJ outburst.
Yeah, but maybe, and maybe you suffer, I don't know, like, at the moment, if you said to me, mentally, how do you feel? I'd say, like, if you said, are you on the verge of implosion? I'd say, not even close. But listen, one day, maybe that all changes. But some people wake up in the morning and get one problem and can't continue, or they can't, the threshold is low. Some can take 20 problems and still be okay. I'm on that level. So I never really let anything stress me out like I see other people get stressed out. But it's... when it's you against the world, where it's all these people who are, you imagine last night, they're all probably on the phone and WhatsApp to each other going, say this, tell him about that, or remind him of when he once said that. Like, and it's just me, like, just going, well, bang, 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 bang. So, but at the same time, it is exciting because we are just originally, a small family business from Romford, and we're out there promoting, and, it's good fun. And I think we'll be remembered when it's all said and done for what we did in terms of events, but also with the fact that I have a laugh with it and don't take myself too seriously. And, I'd like to be remembered as a bit of a character and personality that was actually good for boxing once all said and done. And you never really get the respect until it's all said and done. When you're doing it, people don't go, he was great for boxing, he was. It's only when you're done. But we'll see what happens.
I ask you these questions, or I like to speak to you about these things, because your entrepreneurial mindset is not just about boxing. It's about being an entrepreneur. You're living out sort of like live what it's like. And take this how you want it, but it's sort of like online trolling, online bullying. You're soloed out and everyone else is like, let's get onto him. Yeah. And it's showing that resistance, that you'll banter them back or, you'll bat them back off, or you've got the figures to disprove everything that they're saying.
Yeah, so sometimes people are right in their attacks, if you like. And again, like, if you're going to live in that world, you have to have tough skin. Like, you can't be weak and be like, and I often say to people, and I don't read anywhere near as much online as I used to. I used to read it religiously, like every comment. And in the end, it's like, how can you let someone who you don't even know, who hasn't achieved hundredth of what you achieve affect or influence your mood, right? So like, why? And you go back to that stress levels. Every time you let someone infiltrate you, you're getting closer to the threshold. So you don't really want to put yourself in that environment. But when it's industry people, and when it's like you feel like, no, I can't have that. I've got to tell people the truth, or I've got to make my stand here. But at the same time, like you can't really let what people say affect you. You have to keep focus on your journey, what you believe is wrong and right, acting, with integrity and in the right way, and just keep working hard. Because if you let people derail you, like that's the mad thing about social media is like you can let someone who you've never even met before, who has no sort of role in your life, or like just upset you or derail you or demotivate you or make you crumble, or like it's mad. So really, if you're going to live in that world, you have to be able to understand it, accept it, and roll with it. If not, come off it and don't even look at it. And there is a lot to be said. And one day I will. I won't even. I really believe one day I might not even have a phone. Do you know what I mean? It's a long way to go, but I know. But because I'm always, it's like you were just joking off camera. It's just like it's non-stop and it's information, infiltration. Wouldn't it be one nice just to put it out and just go, and then just like walk around? You wouldn't even know what was happening, would you? You wouldn't know that a government's collapsing. You wouldn't know that there's a knife crime problem. You wouldn't know that your friends had their car nicked. You wouldn't know that he's slagging you off online. You just go, I haven't got a clue. Have you seen what he said? I don't know. I can't see nothing. And that, actually you'd live a much purer life. So if you're going to live in that world, it's difficult. It is difficult because sometimes it will give me the hump. I can't say that I never look at something and go, it can affect you. And especially if you're having a bad day, again, it comes back to, as you just stress, you'll see one comment that down here might not have even, and then you see it up there and you think, like, it's life, stressful.
But when you look back on it, and I'll go back to, obviously you've been in the game for a while, you grew up in the sport, your father is the matriarch of Matchroom. What kind of influences then have you, or say for example, the experiences that your father had in the industry? Fair enough, there was no massive internet and no to and fro on Twitter, but he must have experienced that kind of like backbiting, the slagging off in the industry, and you would have sat there as a child and maybe subconsciously took that on.
Yeah, he's a very different now than he was when he was working in boxing. And he will say to me, he'll come in the office often and he'll go, oh, what? And I'll be like, listen, and he'll go, I'm so happy I don't work in boxing. Because he remembers it, do you know what I mean? And he wasn't, and my dad used to have, like his temper was a lot shorter when he was in boxing. Listen, he's 74 now, so like time chills you and you don't care as much about things as you get older. But he was always arguing. I would sit in his study and listen to him on the phone, arguing with people, and that's boxing, And I see a lot of that in me. Sometimes my kids will come over and I'll be short with them, or I haven't got, I've had a bit of bad news. Leave me alone, Dad, no, and he always tried to give me his time, but there'd be a lot of occasions where he couldn't because he had to deal with something. And I always understood that. And looking back, I understand that as well. And now I see it playing out for me. So it's just important because if my dad would have continued in boxing whenever he stopped really doing it, which I don't know, 50, 55, he would have been continuously miserable and continuously bad-tempered. Exactly what I see from Frank Warren, from Bob Arum, from all these people. And it's not their fault. It's what the game does to you. So you just got to get the timing right of when to say, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? And I ain't going to be 70, 80, 90 like Bob, talking to you with all due respect, moaning at him on social media, doing that. Because one day I'll get my phone and I'll sling it in the ocean and don't ever talk to me again. Do you know what I mean? Because when my work's done, I'm done. And I'll make my commitment to the industry. I'll make my commitment to the family business. But at some point, I'll go, enough. I'm done. It's not yet. There's still a bit of time to go. But, that's where I'm really. I give my life to the business and the sport. But sometimes, eventually, the time will come where you go, enough. You know what I mean? At the moment, it's funny and it's still a buzz, but time will come.
These are valuable lessons that, like I said, you're teaching other entrepreneurs because it's not just about boxing, it's about people in business, people being able to have that thick skin. Like you said, you're going to get a lot of things said about you, but if you take it on, it will ruin you. Sometimes you've just got to learn how to just laugh it off, banter it off or just ignore it. Important lessons. I've waited till last again, and I'm going to have to shut up. But we'll have to continue this another time because I didn't even get to speak to you about the cards, about the actual Canelo fight.
Sometimes more important things.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for that. So,
No problem.
October Red Boxing with Eddie Hearn. Until the next time.
See you soon.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.